So my pioneer journey started like when I started 100s. It's because I feel India was sort of divided between these two brands, and North was, I think, very pioneer centric. We had a lot of pioneer gear in the North, so that's why I started with the 100s. By the way, still one of my favorite players of all time. Very few players have onboard effects. 100s had effects at source, so it was zip, war, jet. ये तीन effect थे. You press the button, all that happens. Super fun. The first unit that I scratched on the CMX 3000. Earlier we used to have these CD players, which were like two slots that will go in, and a controller of those CD players. So Pioneer had a thing called CMX 3000. It was with jogs and you could scratch on it. So that was my introduction to scratching, and then obviously the turntables came in. After that, the biggest change came when the 1000 came, CDJ 1000. They had the big platter, which is what we see now. Like 3000s are actually an upgraded form of CDJ 1000. One more really cool thing that Pioneer came up with was the EFX 500 and the EFX 1000. So EFX is the effect processor. So you can actually connect it with the with your unit and do two effects at the same time. So that was really cool. EFX 500 was like two units at the same time, and then I had the 1000 again two, and then the RMX came. So the RMX is the another 1500 range, and now the Ignite. Like I've been there from the beginning of all these things. DJM 600, one of the first mixers that I used, had a feature called Roll, which these guys also have, but it had a feature where you can trigger that effect with crossfader, which is not there now, but that effect changed a lot of my playing style. So yeah, small advancement actually changed my DJing also in a lot of ways. And when the DJM 800 came, it was a mixer with a sound card. So at that time, I started playing with just the mixer and software called Ableton. So then I would not need CD players. The Pioneer mixer was more than enough, and this and all faders with me. So yeah, and then you could make it as big as you want and as small as you want. One of my favorite DJs is this guy called DJ James Zabela. That also plays a very big role, you know, when your heroes are using Pioneer gear. And now I'm using this. Like I use this in almost, this is my standard tool for every gear, and this also. This is the SP60. This is a sampler. This has sounds of its own made by the legendary Dave Smith. So you can see that the company has actually invested in so many different routes. You can be a producer while DJing. But yeah, the brand has been really good from the beginning. They have been the industry standard, and you cannot unsee Pioneer. That's the biggest part. Like you go anywhere, you will see AlphaTheta now or Pioneer DJ as a brand everywhere. One more thing, the DVJ. Pioneers had this players called the DVJ where you could play the DVDs. So video DJing also kind of came from these guys. There was this mixer called the DJM 2000. It was a mixer with a built-in LAN hub. So you can connect everything in that. And there was a DJM 1000 also, a mixer, which is the V10 ka sort of predecessor. There's a lot of things that I can talk about Pioneer. Pioneer has been too good for me. So a crossover between a Pioneer mixer, which is if I am playing on something like the DJM 600, which I initially started from, to the DJM A9, it's almost 20 years ka difference. If I still give an A9 to me 20 years ago, I would still be able to use it because the design language somehow makes sure that if you are progressing, like for example, if you move from a 2000 to a 3000X, you will not really feel there's something totally new, you know. So that's what's very, very good about these guys, because when we were showcasing all these skills, right, most of the things that you do on the 2000s, you can do on the 3000s as well. Your core skill stays the same, and then you develop on it. Like for example, if you're scratching, abhi kya hua, they've changed the platter. It's become even better for scratching, right? But the core stays the same because the design is the same. If they would have come up with something which is totally off the hook, people will be like, yeah, this is not something that I can relate to. So the coolest thing about Pioneer gear is that somebody who was using a 20-year-old gear, and now the design language is very much intact. So if at home you have practiced at something which is, let's say, नीचे करके आवाज आता है, ठीक है, and you go to the club and it's very different, so that will be a hurdle, and you would be hesitant to use that gear. अभी क्या होता है, for people who are who are developing in Pioneer, if they are using something which is very club friendly, वो घर में they will use an FLX4, okay, and the moment they go to a club, they will see an A9, they will be easily able to use it, and that's what helped us also when we were doing workshops also. Those DJs that were coming up there, they were easily adapting to all the new gear. Hey, what's up? Skipster this side. Today we are at the Voice Studio. We're going to talk about some tips and tricks on the XDJ AZ. This is something that applies to every CDJs that are there. Cue point juggle. I speak about this a lot, and this is something that I don't see a lot of people doing. I'm going to show you advanced cue point juggle. So when you press a cue point, starts playing. What you have to do is find a kick, snare, and a hat. And this song is at like 130 BPM. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the tempo and start picking some hip hop beats from that. So the song which is like this, take off the master tempo and reduce the BPM to create some drama. Find this and then start drumming. And then come back. Small but good. Alright, tip number 2. What you can do is, we all know what these color effects are, but let's try to be more creative with color effects. First and foremost, everybody knows how to do the filter. Parameter knob is very, very important. As you increase the knob and go to the max value, you can actually increase the resonance. So, you get these. And you can reduce the amount of it with this knob. So, and if you want to just filter out, you can keep it to the minimum, and now no resonance. This is something really cool. Always use the parameter knob. Very, very important. Very subtle, but makes a lot of difference. Tip number 3, what you can do is try playing with them while you're putting the effect. So, filter, crush, sweep are pretty much in the same territory. So, try making like a rhythmic pattern out of it. So, see this. Make a loop. Creatively use the switching of effects. Alright guys, let's begin your scratch journey. People are under this idea that you can only scratch on turntables, but these guys have vinyl mode as well, so you can actually replicate scratching in this. What you have to do is make sure your hand is on the platter. Don't start with the backward motion, start with the forward motion. This is your first step, baby scratch. Forward, backward. So the sample starts from forward, backward, and count to the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward, backward, forward, backward. Sounds like this. And then start progressing more and more. And making even more faster. And now try creating more rhythms on it. So a rhythmatic baby scratch will be like this. Another tip for you guys who want to do scratch, and I think I'll call it fake scratching, but it's super fun. What you can do is let the beat go on and understand what your tempo is. So you can see I am at 136, right? Make sure the tempo is very round figure. So the tempo is 130 here. Okay, let's play the song. And what I do is I put this effect called the trance effect. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll put it on channel number 1, which is this guy, and my scratch sample is over here. So, and I'll make a small loop out of it. So a small loop, and what I can do, always cut the lows whenever you're scratching, right? And add this effect on top. So, and now after that you have to just time it properly. So it's going on 5, 6. One quick tip, make sure that your effect is also 130 over here. So to fix that, you press tap and then move it. So you can see over here I'm making it 130 and it should be in tap mode, not auto. Auto is gonna shift it to here. Okay, so tap 1/4 and now play the beat and do scratching. Okay, one quick tip, something called instant doubles. What we can do in this is basically, if you're playing on this side and you want the exact same song to come on this side, while the song is going on, make the master and the other song should be long press. So beat sync, press the beat sync for 2 seconds and this song will get copied here. You can see over here the song is going on. And now, as I long press beat sync, instant doubles. Basically, master gets exact copy on the channel that you want to make a double of. So you can see over here it's written instant doubles. Long press beat sync to get instant doubles. Super helpful feature if you are doing back to back with somebody and they want to use this particular channel. You can actually duplicate your track onto the next channel by using instant double. Alright, let's talk a little bit more about scratching. As you all know, I am current world champion on this stuff. So I'm going to give you some more tips and tricks. One is this thing called the Q scratch. So in this, what you have to do is you have to play the Q button as a rhythm. Master tempo off, tempo range should be wide, and now you play this as a tone. So, okay. And with the beat, it sounds something like this. Dub echo to end things is super cool.